dear ones. It's Filming Friday, and today we are filming the very last segment in our three-part series, and we're going to be making a Khadi paper string book. I'm so excited. And if you're brand new to our channel, let me introduce myself and my husband. My name is Caterina. My husband is Digison, and we started this channel a few years back, and we have over 90 videos for you to watch and we started it with the sole purpose of creating more inspiration and creativity for others. And if you would like to support our channel, there are three ways that you can do it. The first two ways are you'll find directly below in the description, and the first one is a PayPal tip jar, and the second one is to use our Amazon links. The third way is to go to my site. Don will put that on the screen, and you could purchase a piece of my artwork. We have free shipping in the US, so we thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts for supporting us. And we thank you in advance for your subscriptions, for your shares, for your thumbs up, and for all of your likes. Thank you. Okay, let's check out my Khadi paper string book. So if you haven't seen the other two videos in the series, then you'll want to go back and look at it, because we dyed with natural dyes Khadi paper and cotton fabrics, and we used a variety of different colors, and we mixed fruits, and we had a lot of fun doing that. And then we stitched pages, and I forgot to tell you the size. The size of our pages are 5 3/4 ish and 4 1/4 ish. And the reason I say that is because when you tear the Khadi paper, sometimes it doesn't quite match up, or it's a little bit bigger or whatever. But so that's about the size of the pages. We did a slow stitch, and we used lots of different wonderful yummy things, papers and fabrics and laces and shears. So this little book, I wanted to make a little string journal to put all of our little stitched pieces in. It's wonderful to do stitching and to create slow stitches, and then you know, the way my artist mind works is that I create something and then I think, how can I use that? How can I extend that? How can I create another generation from that piece? And so this little book is the beneficiary of that thought pattern. And I just love this is black bean dye. And this little string here is from the tea dye, and I love the contrast of the string. And you know, so I dyed all my strings, or a lot of them. And I mean, why should paper and fabric have all the fun, right? So they should get dyed too. So this little book, you probably saw this on social media, and it was just a tiny little piece that I made, and I thought this would be perfect to tell the story of our little Khadi paper book, right? Our little string journal. So here's the inside of the book. It has this little flap here and pages, and I think I did 6 pages. I used 3 strings, and I had two signatures for each string, and that worked out pretty well. Now, you could put a lot more in here, I think, and do a lot more stitching, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what it looks like. And I love the texture of the stitches and the thick, heavy threads. It's just so great. I love it. Beautiful. Okay, so this is how it ends in the back. So there's this little flap here. You have 2 covers. You have an inside cover and you have an outside cover. And so we just, when we want to redo the strings, and here's the part that I love about doing a string journal, is that these strings can go on the inside, or you could let them hang down, which you know how I love hanging strings. They're so beautiful. So we're going to open this up, and on the inside there's this little secret envelope with lots of little bits and other things that I might find that I want to poke in here to use in my pages. And I actually did dye this in black bean dye. And if you do that, you have to know that when you soak it, all the glue is going to come off. So you're going to have to re-glue it, which I really like the way it looks, because it's kind of wrinkled and it looks old, and it's just yummy. Okay, so now you can see in here where the strings are on the spine, which is about 1/2 inch, and that the front part is glued down. So I love the way it turned out. And let's make another one. Okay, this is the design of the book, and this is the inside cover here. It's 4.5-ish. No, yes, 4.5-ish by 6.25-ish. So that's the inside of the book, and the outside of the book is 9.5-ish, and that's the length. But it's 4.5-inch, half-ish. Now, the thing that I didn't do with this book is I didn't create a spine for it. And it's just a little bit, I don't know, it's not as firm as I would like it. So we're definitely going to put a spine in the new book. And so I've already got that cut, and that is about a 1/2 inch. Yep. And so we're going to use that on the outside cover. There's an inside cover and an outside cover, and I'm going to get confused. Okay, so that's going to go in there too. So we're going to set that aside, and then I already have some pages made, and we'll look at those in a little bit once we get it together. And I have a little envelope that's all ready to go too. And as I said, the glue, this is what it looked like before I dyed it. The glue comes apart, but that's fine. Yeah, I've done this a million times, and so I don't mind gluing it back together. You could also make your own little envelope too. But so we're going to set those aside, and then we're going to get started making the inside and the outside cover. So I have the inside cover already mapped out, which is 4.5-ish by 6.25-ish. And so I've just folded it. I used my bone folder, and I'm just going to tear it. Now you can put water down if you want to. I'm just gonna tear it. And so we're gonna use the tea dye paper today, and I just think it turned out really well. And so this will be inside. It's kind of sedate. And then for the outside cover, look how this turned out. Isn't that just amazing? I love the marks on here. So we're going to measure that off right now. Okay, so this is 9.5-ish this way, and I think I made it just a little bit bigger than that. And I went ahead and just tapered it here on the ends, and we'll see, you know, how that works out. First, we're going to go ahead and just tear it off. Okay, this will be the outside book. Okay. All right. And we need 3/4 of an inch right here. That's going to be the fold. And then we have the little spine here. So and that's 3 inches. So right here. Okay. So I'm just finishing up measuring the spine with the cardstock that I cut to use on the outside, on this outside book cover. And we're going to just fold this, make sure it has a really good fold. There we go. That's great. All right. So I'm taking the inside cover and lining it up with the outside cover, and where the mark is for the 3/4 inch, which is what we're going to fold back. We're going to fold that back, and we're going to glue that down to our inside cover. And so we have to now fold the spine on this one too, which is really easy because we've already got our pencil mark there. And this will be where our strings live in here. So right there, like that. And don't worry, you know, if you make a mistake, you can always just ignore the fold. You know, it's like no big deal. It's your book. Okay, so we've got that all together. So now you can see how it's going to turn out. Got my gloves on, and I've got my regular gel matte medium that I'm going to use. And here's the outside cover, the inside cover. We're going to glue those two together. And wow, that was a nice big glob, wasn't it? And we want to come right up to the line that we've drawn for the spine, to where we folded the spine, because we want it to come right up to that edge. Okay, we'll set this aside. I'm going to put this in here. And you want to pay attention to the piece that you are gluing to the outside cover, right? You want to think about what the design looks like. And we still have to glue this part in here. I want a little glue on the inside too. I don't want it to just sit there. There we go. So what I was thinking when I chose this piece was that this would be wonderful, an opportunity to do stitching in here, and that I absolutely LOVE loved the way this looked. Okay, so now we're going to cut. So we have our edges in, and if you want to fold it to a point, you can. I decided that the flat piece I really liked, and I didn't want it to go too far into the book, but you could go all the way over if you like. So you can make it pointed, but I just liked the cut of it. And I've been working with this for, what, a week now? And the paper is becoming so nice and soft. The Khadi is it has a great fabric kind of feel to it. Just love it. So I'm just going to fold these guys in. And then I'm going to tear those off too. So I have this part all torn and just ready, and now I'm going to glue in the spine. Now I'm gluing the spine into the outside cover. But you could do it on the inside cover if you like, and if you don't even want one, you don't have to put it there. But I just wanted to give it a little bit more support. And notice I'm not going to glue it on here because that's where our strings are going to go, right? Okay, so now we just have to cut the slit. And the way I did that was I simply folded over the flap. I love the way the white shows through the paper, and that's not dye, that didn't suck up the dye. Okay, so the way I did that was I just simply decided where I wanted it to go and then just drew a line here. So I like it being right about there and here. And now I'm just going to use an X-Acto to cut that. There we go. Okay, so when we tuck that into the slit, it's going to just fold in nicely, perfectly like that. Okay, so I have the slit already cut, and now we can just poke this in here. There we go. We have our little string book already, all made. Now we just have to get the strings and put in the little pocket. And then we can slide our pages in. I'm going to glue our secret envelope. Have to have those little secret things going on in books, don't we? I think so, absolutely. So I'm going to glue this back together. And so there's one done, and now we're going to do the bottom. And then I can hide all kinds of wonderful little bits in here, tiny little things, you know, that you've got to have when you're doing slow stitching. I love all those bits. Okay. Ooh, yummy. Look how that looks. It's just great. All right. Now, let's do the back. Get it glued in there, and then we're going to work on the strings. Now, for this book, I decided to dye some plain string, just like I used for the other book, but I dyed it in black bean dye. And it comes out this wonderful gray color. And so we're going to use that instead of the white string. And instead of tying it in a bow and pulling it down at the end, I decided that we would actually just leave it on the inside so you can't really see that it's a string book. It just looks like a regular book. And so of course you're going to go right here on this, on the small book cover, not on the back side, because that's the whole point of this book, is not to see it. And we're just going to tie a knot and then trim it. So, and you want it to be tight but not taut. I mean, you don't want it to be so tight that you can't get your pages in and out, but you want it to be tight enough so that they won't, you know, fall forward. And then just cut that off so we can't see it. And that way it won't even look like a string book until somebody opens it up, right? So there's one. We're going to do two more. Okay, so all the strings are tied, because we didn't want it to be exactly like this one. That would be so boring. So we did it on the back, and now we're going to poke in some pages. So what I love is being able to pull them out and stitch on them, and I did that this week and it just worked out so well. So I've got two in each one, two signatures for each string tie, and I think it's going to be really beautiful when we finish it. And I've got lots more to stitch on these pages. And then one more right here. And we'll put this on the outside. Yep. Lots of space to do more stitching. Okay. Now we're going to fold this back, push the flap in. I'm going to press it with my bone folder again. Now, if you don't want your pages to stick out, make them smaller or cut them down. But I love the pages sticking out. I just think it's really cool and really beautiful. And then I'm going to have to stitch something on here to tell the story. But I think we're finished for now. I might find a little tie to put on it, but I just love the way it looks. Don't you? Well, we're almost at chow for now, and I had a really good time making this little book with you, and hope you'll try it and make one and see what you think. I love stitching with you, and we're going to be taking a little bit of time off. We're going to take 2 weeks off, so we'll be gone for 3 weeks, and but when we come back, I've got several things planned for you guys. I know you want to do a stitched frameable piece, so we're going to do that. I also have the idea of mixing watercolor, colored pencil, and acrylic paint in a piece. So showing different layers of mixing media together. And then the other idea I have is another book, of course, because you know how I love tiny books. I thought that a cardboard and burlap book would be way fun. And your videographer says, tell us what you want to see. So I know you will. I can't wait to read your comments. We want to thank you so much for supporting our channel, and be well, take good care of yourselves, and we send you our love. So until we see you next time, ciao for now.